Recording in progress.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I just need
Good evening,
one
sir.
person to confirm my audio. And please, you can mute so that we don't allow the audio to interfere. Ms. Rachel, please kindly mute for now.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want to really congratulate those that have made it here. Some persons' audio are still interfering. Please, I believe we should all know how to mute. All right. So I want to sincerely thank everyone for showing up again for DAY2. Those that were here yesterday, I believe they had a lot of fun, and we are going to take it deeper in this section. I actually cancel the Python training that I was supposed to have by 7 to 9 so that I will not teach us in hurry. So it appears that I'm joining late, but I know I'm going to probably exceed the 7 until I accomplish my mission tonight. This is Digital Z Hub, one of the online training tech training platform. We believe, based on what our students have said about us, not what we feel, that we can be trusted and you can rely on us to learn any tech skill of your choice. I wasn't really here while she was giving us the necessary information about this platform. So this platform is rich with so many IT skills. By the grace of God, I explained to those that were here yesterday. If you have gone through the video, we did a lot of we give a lot of information regarding to how this platform started and the breakthrough we have achieved so far. Just to mention a few programs that you can be free to ask for us to train you on. We train on cybersecurity, data analytics. We train on digital marketing. We train on AutoCAD. We train on AI automation engineering. We train on Python programming. We train on graphic design. We train on website development and so many other. Right. So I did not mention the computer foundation because I believe it is expected that before you get to this level, you must have settled that aspect. So just in case you want to ask for the training, we train on office proficiency, that is ability to use Microsoft Office applications. From basic to professional, we train on all of that. Now, we do not just do training, though it seems as if training is one of our major focus, but we offer services. We build websites for clients. In case you have anybody, you can contact us, and then we can give you a commission if such contract comes from you. We have other services that we offer, but that is not our priority at the moment. So I will just do a kind of 3 minutes revision on what we discussed yesterday so that we can all be on the same page before we dive into the practical aspects. Right. So in yesterday's section, I explained to them what data analytics is all about, why you as an individual, whether you are working for anybody or not, why businesses are looking for data analysts. I explained all that. So I did tell them that data analytics is the process of examining data the process of examining data and to reprocess them for insight. So what we call insight here, they are the actionable findings from your data set. In other words, those information that you have been able to analyze out of that data that can help somebody to make smart decisions. They are called insights. So you have not done analysis if you cannot present your insights or your findings, which we also recognized yesterday as observations. We talk about also presenting your recommendations. And I said that recommendation is not a constant variable or is not a constant thing. It depends on the outcome of your analysis reports that will determine whether you are to recommend. Where all the variables are performing well, you do not need to recommend. Recommendation in data analysis or data science field is like you are giving an advice. After your analysis, you discover some flaws. You discover some variable underperforming, and you were also able to find out why that could have occurred. That is where recommendation comes in, right? So why we actually organize this is for you to have access to, let's say, 10% of what we can do. And then, like I told them yesterday, we have already created the slots. And before the end of this section, I'll be announcing the discounts that I'm going to give to those that made it here. Huge discounts. So it's going to be equivalent to, we did not even charge you at all. So if you have anybody, any friend out there that are not here, right now. So why I don't want to announce it now, so that people that will join late will not miss it. So kindly send the link to them. You can screenshot the screen and post it. We encourage our followers to advertise us. You can see that we are also trying to give out to the society that is blessing us. So we encourage that, we advise that you encourage us by also spreading the good news. So just as the class is going on, you can go to your status, your Facebook, just screenshots any action or active session, feel free. And I want to thank some persons. I don't know if he's here, Mr. Donatus, and one other person like that attended yesterday's session. I discovered that they actually posted the adverts, and that is very commending. I want to say a big thank you to them. And for those of us that are here, please, I encourage you all to do the same. All right, so quickly, let's dive into the main business. And my assignment tonight or this evening is very simple. I am going to be engaging us for 1 hour, 45 minutes from now. And what I want to achieve are, at the end of this training, you should be able to know what is called data wrangling or data monging. At the end of this training, you should be able to know what are the approaches that are required when you are given a data set to analyze as a data analyst. What are the steps? What are the prerequisite steps that you need to take before you start, bringing out those actionable insights from that data set you are given? And then we're also going to look at how we can use Microsoft Excel intermediate. So I'm going to be mixing them up, our basic and intermediate statistical functions, to answer some analysis question. We're also going to learn how do we even draft this analysis question. Because before I'm able to draw insight from my data, I need to have put together the questions, because the ability to draft effective questions is a major breakthrough in coming up with what? Tangible and what? Actionable what? Insight. So what it means is that once you are not able to draft effective question from the data set you are given, that is failure on its own. you are not going to be able to present anything what tangible. You are not going to be able to present insights that can help someone to make smart decision. Remember, it's not about just making decision. It's about making smart decision. That is why you have to be professional in it. All right. Okay. So let's quickly dive into the application we want to zero in tonight. Like we advertise, we told you that we are going to teach you how to analyze data using advanced Excel. Advanced Excel. So which means that anybody here right now, I will assume that they have graduated from Excel primary school and secondary school. I don't know if I have anybody who will tell me that, sir, sorry, I have not completed Excel primary school. Oh, I am still in fact, I have not even started studying Excel. Please, I will give room for just 2 persons. The reason why I'm asking this question, I am going to dynamically switch if I get a response that says that, I don't know anything about Excel. So which means I will do justice. I will not just teach only those that have done something on Excel. I will see how I can blend them together so that you go home with something. So how many of us want to confess now that I have not done anything on advanced on Excel at all? Because that is the technology we are going to use in this session throughout. Tonia, okay, just unmute and tell us what is your level in Excel, 0 to 10.
3.
3, right? 3. Sorry.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Noted. Now, let me hear from one person. Another one person, please. Because of time, I just want to give room.
Sandra, please.
You can use the message section. You can use the message section to drop your comment there. Okay, so I just need one more person to tell us his or her experience with Excel. Excel is one of the disturbing. Who is talking? Please, if you are not talking, please kindly mute. Mr. Donatus, thank you so much. I appreciated you before you joined for helping us to post our content. We appreciate, sir. Well, Mr. Donatus is an expert, so one of these days we'll invite him to come and teach us Python. All right, so please, I want to hear from one more person. Or it's just Antonia that have let's say that 3 is like 2% of what is expected. All right, so okay, let me just go with that since no other person is sharing his or her experience with Excel. Okay, in the chat. Oh, thank you very much, Daddy. In the chat, why are everybody grading themselves 3? Okay, no problem. No problem with that. So, okay, so now let's start with the, please just give me 2 minutes. Let's continue. So let's quickly go into the main business. So this section, we are going to be using Excel. So I want to quickly tell us what Excel is. So Microsoft Excel is one of the powerful spreadsheet application software, which was developed by a programming language called what? Visual Basic. Right? So Visual Basic is a programming language that some of us that have been using Excel for years who have not even seen. Visual Basic is what enables us to build all those functions you see in Excel, including the ones we are going to use tonight. You can create your own function. You can create automated models. You know, some of us must have seen data set that all these supermarkets and some boutique uses. Once you get there and you tell them that you want to buy a product, even pharmacies, they use it. Once they key in the product name and then everything about the product, what comes out. And that is just one aspect of it. Another automation aspect that Excel can do with the help of the VBA is that you can program column to what? To respond automatically. Let me attend to my children. I'm coming. Just a second. All right, so sorry about that. So, like I was saying, Microsoft Excel is a powerful spreadsheet application software, which is basically used for record handling or record management. But it is also recommended for data analysis with some of the introduced advanced tools. And that is what makes it compatible for data analysis. And like I mentioned in that definition, I said a powerful spreadsheet. So which means that the reason why we use it for data analysis is because it provides us inbuilt function, over 450 functions in this application that we are seeing already built in. And all these 450 functions, they are not just for only you as a data analyst. Some of them are for the basic users. When I say basic users, I'm talking about people who actually learn Excel for office purpose, just to keep record, to generate sales inventory, to create expenses. You see, that is the aspect that is required for you to work as a secretary using what? Excel. But beyond that, there are other areas that we apply it. And one of them is why we are here tonight, which is the data analytics. Now, one of the reasons why it's recommended for us is that it has a framework. It has a framework. Now, the framework is what we are calling the spreadsheet. As you can see on this sheet, if you start counting all these columns, I don't want to go that basic, because if I start to go that basic, I don't think we'll be able to cover what I plan to cover. So those that do not have basic knowledge, please, you can just bear with us. If you go to our YouTube page, I have complete videos on people that have trained on full Excel basic. So if you can search, you'll be able to see it there. So what I wanted to explain is that why is it called spreadsheet? So that it not just look like it's just a mere statement. Why is it called a spreadsheet? Because it has a very large working environment that can accommodate 1,048,576 records. So which means that if federal government want to carry out census in a particular local government that the population is within 1 million, only single sheet like this can track all the names of those people in that locality. Only single sheet. So what we are saying is that a single sheet like this contain or can process 1,048,576 record. All right. So now you understand why it's recommended for us as data analyst, because we work with what? Large data. But as big as it is, you can be given data that exceed, let's say, 2 million. So automatically your knowledge of Excel expires there. That is why we are recommended to learn at least 3 different tools that can be used to analyze data. Yesterday, I told them why you should also learn Python for data analysis, because Python has a package called right, sorry about that. So Python has a package which is called the NumPy. The NumPy is to enable Python to structure your data frame and to help Python to explore large data, unlimited. Let the data be up to 1 billion. Python will pull it without blinking eyes. So that is why you see Python being able to pull large data. And that is why it's also recommended that you don't stop at the set. So when you enroll for the full package, we are going to teach you how to analyze data with advanced Excel, Python, SQL, Power BI, and then R on request. All right. So now I will try to explain something. Why is it referred to as a spreadsheet? Now, if I count this A, B, C, D, because this A, B, C, D, they are referred to as the column or the attributes. They help us to create the attribute of our data set, right? So, which means that if I want to create a simple data system that can track my inventory, I am going to say this column, maybe this column record the dates of all the transaction, maybe this column record the product name, and so on. That is why we are saying that the columns are for tracking the attributes. Now, the word attribute here, it means that data component that describe other words, data properties. So in other words, by the time you impute record here, all these records are going to be recorded under this, which will become the properties of these elements. So, which means that if I start, in case I am asked in an interview, so these are some interview questions you should expect as a data analyst. Sometimes somebody can ask you, how many field names, which means the same thing as what? Attribute, can be created on the single sheet like this. So what the person wants to understand is, the person wants to know how many headings can be generated, how many the person wants to know how many headings can be generated. Now, it means you have to count the total number of what? The columns. Now, how do we know the total numbers of columns? Now, these are alphabets, so it is somehow impossible for us to start counting now. But I have researched and I found out that we have 16,000. We have 16,384 column. That is, if I start counting A1, B2, before you get to the end, you must have counted 16,384. So you cannot see the reason why Excel is described as a spreadsheet, because it's very wide. Just imagine having this number of data heading. Now, why? Let's look at the row. The rows are this numerical representation. The rows are this numerical representation, which means number one is a row. The row represents records. The row represents records. All right, so just to also verify, how many rows do we have in a single sheet? How many rows do we have in a single sheet? Because that will inform us how many record a set single sheet can handle per time. So how do we check this? If I want to check the last attribute or the last column, just click on probably the first one, hold down the control and the shift and press the right arrow key, and that will take you to, hold down the control, just the control and right arrow key. So you can see that the last label here is SFD. So the way Excel permutated it is that after labeling the column from A to Z, I started with what? A, B, A, C, and then up towards to this. So if you count all the way from A before you get to this SFD, you must have counted that 16,384. So if I want to go back, hold down the control and press the left arrow button, and that will bring you back. Now let's confirm how many rows, because as a data analyst, you need to understand this. These are questions you expect from interview. They want to know whether you have knowledge, much knowledge on this program. So they want to find out whether you know the capacity of the sheet, how many records it can process. So how do we check the total number of rows? Because if I don't show us this, after this session, somebody asks you, how many rows do we have here? You might be tempted to say that you have just 20 rows. So which means that you can only compute 20 records. And that will be a typical what? A wrong information. So how do we check? You hold down the same thing, hold down the control, and press the down arrow button. So you can see we have total of what? 1,048,576. All right. So that is why we use the word spreadsheet, which means that what? Excel has a very large workspace. All right. So having said that, now we can go back to data and start looking at some of the approach required in data analysis, particularly when working with Excel. Right? So as a data analyst, your first responsibility is what we call data wrangling. And what is data wrangling? Data wrangling involves gathering your data. It involves restructuring the data, which falls under what we call data cleaning. You see, all these that I'm mentioning, there are different careers in data analysis. There are some of us that are not going to be analysts. Some of us are just going to be data cleaners. And data cleaner work, any company that employ, I'm talking about company that can pay money, not company that are trying to use one to kill 1,000 vessels. I'm talking about well-structured organization that have a data analyst. The data analyst is just like the senior boss. So there are some peripheral jobs that data cleaner must have done, because most people that engineer the data, they did not have data analytics skills. As a result of that, they structure the data anyhow. So which means that the data was not well structured. So when such a data set is given to you as a data analyst, if you don't have a dedicated person for the cleaning, you are expected to have the knowledge. So it means that the first approach is to gather the data. Now, to gather data, particularly as you are learning like this, there is an open source which you can go there and download data free. And the website to visit that source is www.cargo.com. So because of time, because if I go into that, leave that first. All right. So like I was saying, you visit this website. So you visit this website. So So like I said, we need to go to that website, that www.cargo.com, to get the data, and we will make available this particular data or any other data via the WhatsApp group. I believe we are all in the 2 WhatsApp group or any of them. The data will be dropped there after the training. So you can go there and download the data if you are not able to navigate yourself within that cargo to get data set. So that is the first approach. That is the first approach. So we don't exist until we have data. Now, once you have access to the data, just like this data I have on the screen now. So let's assume that the company have given you the data like this, and you want to start your analysis. What does the rule says in this field? That before you start your analysis, you have to study this data. You have to understand this data. So I'm going to take us through some logic, some functions that can be used to exploit this data to gather information that will inform your question drafting knowledge. So you can see the process. You get the data, you understand the data so that you can draft effective question. And after drafting those questions will now lead to, those questions will now dictate, those questions will now determine which of the descriptive analysis techniques to employ. Yesterday, we talked about different types of data analysis. We talked about descriptive that answer the question, what happened. We talked about diagnostic that answer the question, why a particular value occur certain way. And then we talk about predictive that talk about the future, what can be done if what can be done to improve. And then we talk about prescriptive. That is just like recommending actionable words, insight. All right. So everything we are going to learn in this section, we say that will fall within descriptive analysis and diagnostic word analysis. So now we are going to understand the data. Let's study the data together. Let's study the data together. So once you are given a data set like this, what is the first thing you do? The first thing you do is to understand it. Why should I study the data? If I ask you now, I just brought the data. You were not there when I was computing the data. So you have 1 million reasons why you should study it. You don't understand this data as far as I'm concerned. So let me show us how you can understand your data. You ask yourself silent questions. These are not questions you loud. These are not questions you ask your colleague. These are questions you ask yourself as a data analyst. And answering this question, we enable you to understand the data. The first question is, you ask yourself, how many attributes are in this data set? Or how many data objects? Or how many headings? Let me use the traditional word, headings. How many headings are in this data set? Why is it important for you to know the heading? Because if I am a consultant and you send me your data to analyze, how do I know how much to charge you? I am going to bill you based on the number of features or headings in that data set I am to analyze. Because the number of headings in the data set increases the number of questions. And the number of questions that I attend to determine the number of insights I'm going to present. So, and the number of insights I will present is what determines the deployment of my technical and my critical thinking skills. So you pay for it because it's not easy to think. Some of us, when we think more than 1 minute, our brain is hot. So in data analysis, critical thinking is one thing that you cannot take out if you want to be good at it. So how am I going to answer the question, sir? Am I going to be counting region 1, country 2, item type 3, sales channel 3 or 4? No, you don't need that. That is manual. That's why it's called advanced. Advanced. You are not the basic Excel user that will be counting manually. So now let me show you how you work. As a data analyst, the moment you start drawing your insights, you are not expected to display those insights in the same sheet where you have your source data. This sheet should be left for what? Source data. So you create another sheet and you name that sheet dashboard. So I named this sheet what? Dashboard. And now somebody would like to know, in the field of data science or data analytics, what is dashboard? Dashboard is a dedicated interface for assembly, for grouping all our insights, all our findings. All right. So we will be drawing them from this data. I will be presenting them here. So when you enroll and we get to pivot table, we will teach you how to create dynamic and interactive dashboard, automated dashboard. But because of the set of functions I want to focus on tonight, I will not be able to create such dashboard, but we'll try as much as possible to create intermediate one, which should be the starting point. So what it means is that those questions that you ask yourself silently, you can decide to publish them here. What is the question? We are still studying the data. We are still trying to understand the data. And I'm asking myself that how many headings are in this data set? I don't want to count manually. So I will say, okay, I will merge the whole of this cell. So this is trying to help those people that have not done basic now. So I want to merge this number of cells. Why? Because I want to write that question here so that each time I open this sheet, I will know what I actually did under this particular section that I must have merged. So that will take us to how do I collapse them to become one cell. So I will highlight across them. But before I'm coming to that, you need to make your dashboard interactive. You need to make it presentable. You need to encourage the boss or you yourself that will be assessing your work here. So one of the way you make it look attractive is this. Now you go to insert, and when you get to insert, I'm going to use a word art text. Come to this section where you have this, select word art, and then choose from any of these word art symbols. These are like template text write-up that you can call and then use it to write. So I will write that this sheet is my reporting sheet. So I can tag it reporting sheet. Reporting, or you say analysis sheet. Now I carry this test because this is a dashboard. You need to make sure that everything is properly organized. So I'll put it here. Now if I want to change the color, I'll go to click on the text, then click on this, and then from here you will say your text field, and then you can change the color. You can come to where you have text outline and change and say, okay, I don't want the line color so that I can see the full red. Now after that, I want to silence all the vertical and the horizontal lines on that section. So what I'm doing right now, I want to blind them. Blinding them is to select everything and then come to this field tool, and then I'll choose let me choose this. I just want a very simple dashboard. Now, after you have done this, the next step is for you to start answering those questions. If you have a company logo, you can bring it up here. You have to show us how to add the logo. You go to insert, you go to illustration. Under illustration, you will see shape. Then from shape, since it's a picture, go to picture. And then if you have the logo in your system, you consider this PC. If you are connected to the internet, you want to search it out directly and add it here, you go through this. But let me go through this. I will just pick a logo and add it there. So where do I have my logo? Let's assume that I have my logo here, and then I have it somewhere here. So let me just look for anything as logo if I'm going to find. Okay, so I click and then I add the logo here. So I can carry the logo because if it's going to be executive report, the company will give you their logo. So that is how to attach the logo. So any questions so far? Any questions so far? Let me give room for one question or any comment. How is the class going with you? Are you getting it or you are not getting it? Let me get a feedback before I continue. I think let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Mrs. Richard, please open up the WhatsApp group. Please, I want them to comment there if possible. Those that are not ready. In fact, let them comment briefly. Open up the WhatsApp group for now. Let them comment, please. And then I'll be back the next 3 minutes.
All right, sir.
The group, please let me get a response if you have opened the group for now for them to comment. And those that don't want to comment, you can say it here. I think I'm hearing you now.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so has anybody commented or they want to say it here? I just want a feedback from at least 1 or 2 persons to know if we are actually learning before I proceed.
Yes,
So
we are learning, but we're a bit very fast.
Yes, I understand. Even yesterday, is trying to
Especially with
see.
showing us how to have a creative dashboard.
Yes. So why there is no cause for alarm on the speed, because the video will be made available to you so you can sit down with it. But if you have some questions, you feel that I should just repeat, that will not take much time, you are still free to do so as I've made this opportunity available.
It will be fine.
Okay.
For me,
Okay.
I think the video will be fine.
All right. So let's quickly, so please, we can still reach out to people to join. Let's keep encouraging people to join via the groups, please. All right, so let's continue. So we are trying to make the dashboard interactive. We are trying to make it interactive. And that is why we are designing it this way. So now we wanted to answer that question that will help us to understand the data set, which is how many headers are in this data set. So I'm going to merge the whole of this section. And how do I merge? You select across the number of cells you want to merge. After that, you click on Home tab and select Merge as Center. So that has automatically collapsed those cells. Now I can write total. I can write total numbers of, I can say attribute or header. Let me use basic terms. All right. So it's just for you to, because at the end of the day, why you are doing this is that at the end of the day, you are going to present a report. And the report you are going to present is not going to be, the report you are going to present is not going to be, most time, is not going to be on this Excel. This is just like your technical skills that are helping you to put your report together. Because we are expected to present our finding in a non-technical form. That is why it's called analysis. So you break it down. You don't present your report and everything is still complicated. All right. So if you are presenting your report to your boss that does not know anything about Excel, you bringing him to Excel here just like an insult. So, but while you are gathering your findings, which you will now put in writing, which will now form what we call executive report, you have to be mentioning them like this so that at the end of the day, you know what you did here. So now we want to answer the question here. Answering that question, I am going to use a cell basic what? Statistical function called count, where you are counting everything. Because the question, the silent question I'm answering is how many headers are in this data set? So the question did not say count headers that start with letter C. Instead, the question says what? All. So where you are counting all and you are counting string or text, not number. If you look at this, these are not number, these are text. When you are counting all and you are counting string or text, you use a function called what? Count. You use a function called count A. Count A. So you click on this one. And then the argument is that tell me the range. What is the range from where to where do you want me to count? That is what the function is asking us. And then you and I know that what we are doing right now is called a cell intersheet referencing. A cell intersheet referencing is where you are writing a function in another sheet and you are consulting, you are linking that function to another record in another sheet. So we refer to that as what? Intersheet what? Referencing. So which means that what this function is asking for right now is not in this sheet. So what this function is asking for right now is not in this sheet. So how do I reference it? Then you switch from here. Once we come here, you now select the first column, the first attribute. That is, I want you to start the counting from here and stop here. Basic Excel user will click and drag and drag and drag and be highlighting. What about if it's up to like 250 heading? Is that how you'll be dragging? Professionally, this is what you do. Just state where you want to start from. Then hold down the control button on your keyboard, the shift button also. Now you will see a section where you have 4 arrow buttons. One is facing up, one is facing down, one is facing left and right. Now we want to select towards my right hand side. So I will use that one automatically. Excel AI is sensitive enough to know where the last heading is and stop there exactly. So I'll press enter while I am here, not switching to the other. In other words, we are pressing enter here and is expected to display the result in our dashboard. So let me hit the enter now, and then it's outputted what? There are 13 what? Headers. So you can see how you are able to deploy your data mining scale, data exploration what? Scale that we talked about yesterday. So what have I done now? This is the insights that we're talking about. This is what I have drawn from the data. And what information, what decision will this one inform me? What decision will this information guide me on? That is the reason why we exist as data analysts. Like I told them yesterday, that we are the best people to manage businesses. We are the best people to what? To be CEO. We are the best people to be what? Manager. That is why you can work anywhere so long that company is a data-driven what? Organization. That is all you need. But there are some test key, I give them a lot of advice yesterday. There are some test key that you cannot work anywhere, or you cannot work everywhere rather. There must be some selected company you can work with. But one of the good thing about it is just like somebody who studies statistics in school, they can work in any organization. So now this information tells me that, wow, now I have detail about my data, the data I want to analyze. All right. So now another silent question. What are we doing now? We are still trying to understand the data. We have not really started analysis, the main analysis, though this is analysis anyway, but it's just analysis to check certain information about the data we are given to analyze. So another silent question that I need to ask myself to help me understand the data is how many records are in this data set? That is, if I count row 1, remember that row 1 is already the attribute, so you shouldn't count it. So I start from row 2. 1, 2, 3. Because records are the horizontal entries. So if I want to know how many of them do I have here, just give me. All right. So like I was saying, we want to ask another question. How many records are in this data set or data frame? So we need to also find out, because that will also inform us on certain decision. So, and instead of you counting one after the other, that is going to be very stressful. So as a data analyst, you deploy your descriptive analytic skills using data mining or exploration techniques. All right. So now to answer that question, I'll go back to the dashboard. Then from the dashboard, we all right. So we can decide to also add a question here. So let me also mesh the whole of this cells together. Remember how we meshed the other time? So I will say what? How many records? How many records in the data sets? So that is all these questions. They are not the main, though they can also form part of your analysis, because if it happened to be a very large data set, the organization wants to know how many transactions has been tracked so far. So it can form part of your analysis. Now, I have taken my time to format this test to be read, and I want the same thing to be on this. So how do I replicate this without me going through the entire process again? Please kindly mute yourself somewhere. I think it's Sam. I'm trying to. Once you join, please. Okay. All right. So I want to transfer the format of this to this. So all I need to do to save my time, you just click on this, and then you click on this command, which is called Format Painter, and then you touch that text. You can see that automatically that text inherited what? The previous format to save your time. Now, this is where we are going to output our findings. And what is the finding? We want to know how many records are here. How many records? So we are not also going to count manually. So I will use the same. I can use count, not count A, because I am going to use one of the column with number as a criteria for the counting. So I'll just double click to complete it. Then go back to the data set. Now, since you are using count, which can only count numbers, all right? So you must use one of these values that are number. So let me say, because the number of record you have under this column definitely are going to be the same here. So I will just choose this, starting from here, then hold down the control button and the shift button on your keyboard. This time around, we are pressing the down arrow because we are highlighting downward. Excel will automatically select the entire cell with values. The entire cell with value, and then I'll press enter. So as you can see, we have 100 word entry in that data set. So we are still following the approach. And like I told us that this is going to form part of the master class. We are not going to repeat it. And that is why we are taking it the order at which we normally train it. Right? So we have 13 headers, and then we have 100 entry in this data set. Now, another thing I need to understand about this data, what we are doing is still under what? Understanding the data. So we don't want to just be looking. We are also using this opportunity to understand some functions that can help us to exploit certain information from a given data set. Now, another thing again, we need to understand before we start our analysis, we need to understand the type of values under each of the headers. We need to understand what type of data is this? 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 We need to understand them. So in programming, anything tests is called string. So these are strings. These are strings. These are strings. These are strings, but these are not string. These are dates. These are unique value, but they are called large integer. They are called large integer. They fall under integer, but large integer. Then this is date. This is integer. This is float or double number. Once a number carries decimal points in programming, it is called double or float. So this is also float. And then, of course, I think this is float. Once they carry decimal point, they are float. So we understand that. So the next thing is for us to, so let's assume that to an extent, we now understand our data. So we want to start the main analysis now. The next thing we need to know is how to draft your analysis question. Now that you have an understanding of your data, now you cannot draft effective question. Remember what I told you before. One of the requirements for you to be a professional data analyst is the ability to draft questions. And your ability to draft questions depends on how you understand the data. So that's why you see that we are spending time since trying to understand the data. That is the rule. That is the rule. So now we want to analyze this data using Excel advanced or intermediate and advanced functions. I will try as much as possible to see how we can make it a little bit standard because of the time. Now that we understand the data, look at the question I want to answer. The first question I want to answer. So you should know how to assume what the stakeholders we actually need. What the stakeholders we actually need. So you have to put yourself. This is the logic. And that is why sometimes I find it easier to train managers of companies and CEOs of companies. The reason is this, because they are already wired with the thinking pattern. They have been in the shoe of making decisions with data. So it is very easy. The only thing is that they have been doing that, manually. So you must be able to communicate, to tell your data story. So for example, now, as a data analyst, I'm going to function double now. for me to be able to draft my questions, the first thing I am going to ensure is to put myself in the shoe of the owner of the company. So, all right. So, like I was saying, you put yourself in the shoe of the owner of the data, the company, and then you look through from there to your end as a data analyst. This is how you are trying to read their mind, because they are not there when you are running your analysis. And how will you be able to run analysis that will align with what is expected? So you have to be in their shoe. So, for example, right now, let's assume that this data belongs to Digital Z Hub, and I give it out to someone else as a data analyst. What do you think, as the CEO, what insights do you think we'll be expecting from the analyst to present? I'll be more interested in knowing my profits. Yes, I'll be more interested in knowing my profits. Somewhere you are distracting. I'll be more interested in knowing my profit against certain variable. I think that should be, please mute. If you are not talking, mute, please, to avoid conflict. Now, I'll be more interested in knowing my profit per the product type. You can see the reasoning pattern now. Sometimes, some persons think that because they know Excel, they know. No, data analytics has communication. It has his own, can I say, lifestyle. There is a thinking pattern. It's not just you understanding the functions. So you can see the way I'm demonstrating it now. I am putting myself in the owner of the company shoe now. Every owner of a company will be more interested in knowing their profit. Now, I can compare the profit to the item type. I can compare the profit to the sales channel, because what this means is that this company has different two unique sales channel. If sales did not come through offline, the sales will come through online. So the company want to make decision on how to probably improve this sales channel. And making that decision, they would like to know which of them is doing better in terms of profit generation. So that is one question. I have already gotten a question now. Another question is that the company will be interested in knowing the summation of the values here against each of the unique products, so that when they want to reinvest their capital, they will be guided. You see what some of our parents did, even up to now, our uneducated parents. As they are selling, they are throwing the money inside purse. And when it's market day, what do? They just put hand there and go to the market and stock without, if you ask them now, how do you know what informs you that you are to buy 10 of this product and buy the other one 4? They are strong data analysts too. Honestly, they are strong data analysts. Their assumption most times are correct, but not in this era. You have to work with your data. So a company will want to know, what is the profit generation strength of this product? Which of the product is not doing well, so that they can discard it, so that they will not spend their investment on, spending their money, hiring the service of a digital marketer, and nothing is coming out. People are not buying it. And that is why this data analytics, like I told them yesterday, has a connection with digital marketing. So most time, data analysts are the one that create room for digital marketer. They are the one that recommend digital marketers. Because at the end of the day, if I am presenting my report to a company and I have been able to point out that after my analysis, I discovered that this product needs to be marketed more because I discovered that it's underperforming. I discovered I have just one person that purchased it. And there are every tendency that what people have not come to know about it. So this product require what? More what? Awareness. So now the person will now ask you, so how do we go about it? Okay, I'm going to consult a digital marketer and you are going to run what? Paid ad. So we are going to employ a digital marketer or a social media manager to boost, to advertise, to make this product visible to the audience. Wow. Okay. Can you give us the contacts? Or you collect it as your job as a consultant, and then they give you the entire job. Then you discuss with the digital marketing guy or the digital marketing person, and then you have your share there. All right. So you can see it now. Because for them to make their decision on how they want to distribute their capital on this product, they need to know how are they doing? A reasonable company owner. So how am I able to see this? Because right now, I am in the shoe of the CEO. Now, I am very sure that they will also want to know the comparison of the profit generated per country. So just when they want to make decision based on which country they want to invest more of their capital, they will not know. So you can see that I have drafted up to 4 questions. Now, I have drafted 4 questions. So you can see how I'm able to get the questions now. So that is how a data analyst should think. That's why I told us that we are critical thinker. We are problem solvers. So you shouldn't take this role and think that you will just sit down in one place and then things will be going well. No. All right. So now let's go and let me start answering those questions one by one. And the insight that I'm going to derive from answering those questions will form my analysis dashboard. So the first question is, let me go to the dashboard because of time. The first question is, so I want to quickly put it here. I will have stopped to ask us, but each time I ask, we don't always respond. So let me just fire down. Now, the first question is that what is, or you can draft your question in a short way. Analyze the total profits per item type. That is question. Now you can see how I am able to generate this question because I understood my data. Never make the mistake of jumping into analysis when you have not studied your data. It's very dangerous. See, you can go to jail if you think that you can analyze data and write a report anyhow. If you write a report for Dangote that he should invest 100 billions of naira and he trusts you, and meanwhile you do not do your finding very well, you just did casual analysis, you can enter jail. So just be careful. Make sure that you know it very well. Don't rush. Study. You can see the time we have spent understanding. And that is what is helping me to what? To put this question together. So this question is what we call comparison analysis or historical analysis. Yesterday we mentioned it. This is a data set that has been collected and handed over to me. So this is a historical data and is a categorical analysis I want to do. How do I know this is not a single metric analysis? So this is not single metric analysis. This is categorical analysis. How do I know? Because I am going to be comparing the sum of the profit per unique item. So at the end of the day, we will now determine our trend that we mentioned yesterday, the pattern, and the outlier. So now let's go there. Being categorical analysis, which means that my first responsibility is to design what we call analysis table. Analysis table is a model, is like a construct that is used to display the insight, which can be in form of a tabular model or graphical model. We are going to see that now. So, but we always start from using a tabular what? Model. A tabular model is a two-dimensional model. That is, it has a vertical axis and what? Horizontal axis. So the first thing is for me to list out my categorical data. So how am I going to list them out? So I will go to the, remember the question. The question is, you have to look at the question because the question will help you to know which of the values you are to list out. Always pay attention to the question. Analyze the total profit per item type. So which means that the criteria for the summation is based on the selected item type. So which means that I have to list all the item type here, unique item type. All right. So now the next thing I am going to do is, so now how do I list out those items? They are already mentioned in my data. So I don't want to waste my time writing them. So what I'm going to do is to deploy a skill to copy everything here first, because this is where I have all the unique items. Pay attention here now. Now, why did I select? Look at the way I highlighted now. I did not highlight like this. I click on the alphabet. That selection has a meaning. It means what? Select every value in all the cells in this column. So which means that, for example, if tomorrow they enter more record, it will automate in your report. That is what we are doing. So I will press Control. But if you copy like this now, there's going to be a problem because there's going to be shortage of what? Cell, because in your dashboard, you have already used some cell. So Excel will complain. All right. So now I will do this selection like this. Start from here, hold down the Control and the Shift and press the down arrow button. It's a logic we have already treated. Control C to copy. Then go to your dashboard and click where you want to list the unique value. Control V. So you can see that with this, I have what? Call in all the value. But we do not need all the value. We only need one baby food to represent all the times baby food transaction was made here. We need one cloth to represent all the times what clothes was transacted. That's what we need. So which means that will now lead us to data cleaning skill. Data cleaning is an aspect of data analysis where you focus on perfecting the data to avoid error, because analyzing erroneous data is very, very risky. Don't do that. Perfect your data. So what do I mean now? I will borrow that skill. Why do I want to borrow it? I want only one baby food, because right now I'm seeing one baby food here. And then if I go down, I should be seeing another what? Baby food. I just want one. So which means that I have to remove duplicates. How do I remove the duplicates? You select everything again here, right? And then you go to data. You go to data tab. Then from here, you click on this icon called what? Remove duplicate. The moment I tap it, Excel will notify me that yes, I have detected that what? There's a column B where you have duplicates. Is that it? You say yes, you click here. And then you get a report that 87 duplicate values have been found and removed. And you have just what? 14 unique items. That is another insight we just derived now. What is the insight? So I will mention in my report that after analyzing data, I discovered that the company has what? 14 unique what? Products sold. So you see it now, 14. So you write it down somewhere. Now, I will now write the column. This is where I want to aggregate the total profit generated. The total profit generated. This is where I want to aggregate it. The total profit generated from all the baby food sold will be here. Total profit generated from all the cereal products there will be generated here, and so on. So I have to title this as what? Total profit. Total what? Profit. All right. So I have to expand the column. Now, I have to make this unique. Formatting, go to home, make it bold, because this is a dashboard and I'm using a color. I'm trying to calculate the color. Don't use too many color. Now, it is time for us to perform the analysis. This is called analysis table. And like I said, it is a model that you build or design to showcase these are my findings from the data you are given. So here we are going to answer this question using a cell sum if function. So that is the formula, that is the function that we are going to use to answer this question, because that function can only be used to summarize data where only one condition is required. And how do I know there is only one condition? Look at it here. Analyze the total profit by item type. What about if the question says analyze the total profit by item type where sales channel is equals to offline and unit sold is greater than, that is about 4 criteria. 4 criteria, you can't use sum if. Then when you enroll, we will teach you up to that level. But let me just answer the question. So equals to sum if. Now look at the center. It says range, criteria, sum range. Range, criteria. The first function parameter is range. And what is range? Range is the column in the data set where you have the criteria value. Where is the criteria value? Is, remember the question, analyze total profit per item type. So which means that there is a column in the data set here that have all the item type. So the selection of everything here is what the range is. So let's look at how we go about it now. So what is that range? I'll switch back to the data. And now, because I am creating room for tomorrow, so that, in other words, I am analyzing an ongoing data. They have not stopped what? Collecting. Tomorrow they will say add more. And I will not want a situation whereby when they add more tomorrow, they call me to come and perform this analysis. I want it to be automated. That is what, once they make another sale and impute it here, once it aligns with the product here, it automatically what? Generates its profit over there. So in that case, if I select it like this from here to this, look at this, it stopped where the last record stopped, which means that if any other product comes here, it's not going to be part of your analysis. So how do you create room for tomorrow input? You hold down the control key again and then press it one more time. It will select everything. So, and that is, instead of me doing this selection, since I want to select everything, what you should do is to click on the letter, the alphabet, once, and that will select everything. Then you add a comma. So that is the range. What is the criteria? What is the criteria? Now, remember I said the range is where your criteria value is. Now, your criteria has been mentioned here in your dashboard. Your criteria right now is what? Baby food. Now, the function can only sum up numbers. The function cannot sum up what? Text. So what you have done so far is just to tell Excel that the criteria for summing the values under total profit, they are located within what? C to C. And the criteria is what? That is what? Go and locate what? Anywhere you have baby food in that column C, and then where you find it, trace it to the column total profit. Any value that is attached to it, pick it, trace another one, add it to it. That is how the function will keep tracing them until it sums up everything. So now, but we need to supply the value in the total profit. So you put your comma, go back to the data set. Now you come back to just go up, because we also want to create room for tomorrow. Click on letter N to show that even if there are new entry tomorrow, they will also be what? Be captured, because you have already selected the empty variable or the empty cell. So now if I hit enter now, you see that what? You have automatically what? Generated the total profit. Now, how do you now generate for cereal? How do you now generate for office supply? You see the reason why some people are busy killing themselves being manual. How do you think a company will employ someone who is still punching calculator to do? Just imagine the number of minutes, if not hours, that will take the person to what? To get this value. And at the same time, after getting this value, the person have to go back and start punching again to get what? Siri. But with Excel AI, we just click on this one that we have generated and just double click on this dotted edge. It will automatically what? Generate other ones. You see how it saves you time now? So let me get a response if we are following. This time around, I want to get a response at least from one person. You can use the I believe the line is open. Let's comment there how we are enjoying or not enjoying the class.
The class is going well. I'm understanding what's happening.
Okay, thank you so much for that comment. Let me hear from another person. So like I said, the video will be made available. The video will be made available and you can go through it and practice. So, but I will encourage us to make sure that you enroll so that we can take it gradually, because if it is the master class, after this now, I will allow you to do it. You share your screen with me, and then every one of us, we get it before we proceed. So that is the advantage of enrolling in the master class instead of just this promotion training section. So now, the next thing is so now, like I said, this is just stage 1. You have not done anything yet. You have not done anything yet, because this is just a display of your technical skill. It's just give me a few minutes. Let me rectify the line. All right. So, like I said, you have just displayed your technical skills. What the stakeholder needs is not this. So the last thing you need to do is to visualize this data in order for you to easily identify your trend. I told us yesterday that anytime we are given data to analyze, there are 3 things we are hunting for. And at the end of your analysis, if you cannot present 2 of them, you have not done anything. So what is trend, like I defined yesterday, is the most occurring value. So the company wants to know, okay, yes, you have aggregated the total profit generated per what? Per item type. Okay, so what should guide us in making decision? Okay, we want to know the highest, the product with the highest profit. You make sure that you bring the highest, bring the one that follows, and then the least. These 3 information we guide them. If they can know the highest, the one that follows, and the least, it will guide them. And the difference between the highest and the least, you need to put them in your report. So because of time, we will not be able to go to PowerPoint. or during the master training, we teach you how to write reports. Report writing is part of the skill that you need, how you can use PowerPoint to write your reports, because you are not going to present a set to them, except if it is you are presenting to people that have the skill. All right. Now, how do I identify? Because this is a tabular model. And one of the difficulties we face when we want to identify our trend using tabular model is that we will have to start comparing this value to each other. And it takes time. So that is where data visualization comes in. That is what? Representing this with picture. That is graph. So how do I convert this? I need to back up this table with graph so that I can easily see my trend, see the pattern, and then see the differences. So you will highlight the whole of the reports, and then when you tap the edge here, you will see this last icon that says what? Quick analysis. You can get it by pressing Ctrl Q. So once you click on it, it's going to opt you what are different options. So if I want to use one stone to key two bed, I can use this word integrated bar. So from here, I have seen the highest. The highest is what? Cosmetic. Then I go to my PowerPoint and write, okay, after my analysis, observations. Observation 1, cosmetic generated the highest profit with so amount. Don't just mention cosmetic generated. The company you put it in bracket with the sum of. You put it in writing. Because of time, I don't want to go into that. All right. Then you cannot say which one follow. The next one is household, from what I'm getting here. Then it seems office supply and clothes, they are doing almost the same. So what you do like this, you also bring it that you also discover that office supply and this, they are doing almost the same thing. Then the least among them, I believe, is what? Meat. Then question, why? That is diagnostic now. Why is meat? Now, before that why question, you subtract this value from the highest value. You know whether the meat is actually doing well or not. And that is where recommendation comes in. These very ones that are not doing, looking at the gap between them and the ones that are doing well, it calls for alarm. The company have to change their operational what? Strategy. We talked about this yesterday. So data analysis inform company to what? To change their what? Strategy. So with this now, there is now a kind of information that makes me to understand that, this product is not doing well. Then I will call the marketing department, the head, what is happening? Why are we not selling this product? Then that person will not complain that one marketer is not doing what he's supposed to do. Then recommend sack. That is why many people have been sacked in organization. Once a data analyst submit a report, you see people being fired. But sometimes they don't know that we are the problem. But we are not actually the problem, because our goal is to grow the business. So whatever the business needs to do to keep us in the market, we have to do it. All right. So that is just that one. I don't want to use this one. I just wanted where you are economizing space. You don't want to have a separate graph here. You can just use that one to identify your trend. Now you click on it, you go to charts, and then where the variable, the values are much, where the value you are comparing are much, the advice is for you to use what? Clustered what? Graph. All right. So let me use this. Or where you want to see more, you can click on more. Why I am coming to more is for me to see different formats. Not just that, I can go to alt chart. I want to use the one with color, because that will enable me to add, to differentiate the performance of the information. All right, so I'll use the color one. So I'll click here and then click here. So you can see that with this, I have created a visualization of this. So I can click on this. If I don't, these are the legend. This legend, they are the key that can enable you to differentiate one bar from the other. But if I don't want them, you can click on them and what? Delete them so that you can have the bar longer. So with this, you can see that you can now start writing your report. Your report now, like I said, you can easily see if you hover on this, you know that this is cosmetic. If you hover on this, you know that what? This is what? Household. And then you write your report. Then there are some formats here that you can easily what? Apply to redefine the structure of the graph. This is a dashboard. The dashboard have to look very creative. And then some of them are adding. So you can say, like I prefer this one because this one is attaching, but I may not need if I'm not going to print it out. If I'm not going to print it out, I may not need to attach because if I hover on it while I'm presenting, I can see it. But if you feel that you want to have it attached to it, fine. Then you just click on it. All right. Then if you want to give it your personal background, you can leave that one and come to your face shape here and choose a different what background. So with this, I have been able to draw what important insight. So if you are writing your report in PowerPoint, you will just what copy this chart at that place where you must have written cosmetic as the highest profit, followed by this, followed by this. You must have written those information. Under it, you support it with the graph. All right, you support it with the graph. So to support it, you just right click on the graph and then select what? Copy. Just copy the graph. Let me see. Just copy the graph. And then you go to maybe PowerPoint where you are writing your information, maybe like this here, because they are both Office applications. So you don't need to screenshot. So you come here, you can just right click and select what? Paste. Select paste or just press Ctrl V and then to be here. And meanwhile, you must have, remember that you are only backing it up. Maybe you must have written all those observations here, whatever. So just to make it easier for them, then you are now also pointing to the graph that you can see the graph confirm what I must have put in writing. So that is one question that we have answered. So to answer one more question and then we call it a section. But before we answer that question, I want somebody who can, who is willing to say something about this platform. If you don't mind, you show your video. But if you feel you don't want to show it, there's no problem. But if you can, you want to say something about how you have been enjoying the classes from yesterday till this section, or you have any word of advice to people that will come across this video, please just let us know within 3 minutes so that we can answer the last question and then we'll draw the curtain there. Do we have any of such? Or you can, okay. Mrs. Sandra, you want to say something? Okay, I don't want to waste time on that, but all I know is that I believe the WhatsApp group is still open, right? Mrs. Richard, is it still open?
Yes, sir, it's still open.
So please kindly go there and drop your comments. We appreciate comment like this because it encourages us to organize more free sessions. It's very important. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, kindly do so. And if you come across this video, you want to subscribe to the YouTube page, I think the YouTube page address or the URL is at Digitech Zeal Hub, Digitech Zeal Hub. That is the YouTube handle. Then you can also follow me on my personal Facebook. Just search for Eguero or Prosper Eloho. Any of them will show you. You see a computer icon there. There are a lot of updates that I give there. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, and then you can also follow Digital Zeal on our official Facebook page, which is you can search for Digitech Z Academy, and that will lead you to one of our page. And then if you also search Digitech Z Hub, that will also take you to another of our page. We are also on TikTok using the same, but just put dot in between them, Digitech, then .zil.hub. Make sure you follow us across our social media platform. On Instagram, we are also there. And then I think we want to activate Telegram so that we can upload. And then we also have a WhatsApp channel. It's different from that group that you have, a WhatsApp channel. Because a time will come when the group is filled up, we will redirect everybody to the channel. So if you're on WhatsApp, you can also search for Digital Z Hub. You'll be able to follow us there through the channel. Okay, so let's answer one more question. So please, you can drop your comment in the WhatsApp if possible. We appreciate that. So let's look at the last question. The last question is that now you have been able to summarize the profit. You have been able to summarize the profit based on the item type. Now, the company may also want to know before making starting decision. How many? Why is cosmetic? Why? This is diagnostic question now, or analysis rather. Why is cosmetic generating the highest profit? Is it that it has more number of transactions, or the product they purchase has the highest amount? So we want to know that question. Before you find that, you will have to what? Use the count if function. So I'll just copy this model. I'm trying to form a shape, a design. So because I don't want to start designing the analysis table, so I want to inherit this that we have already listed, because the questions still align. And even they are asking us to analyze the total number of profit, or sorry, the total number of transaction per item type, or maybe per sales channel, then we will have changed this. So here I'm going to use count, another statistical function, count if. Then the range is where I have these criteria values in the data set. And then I go there, I select what? The whole of this, then comma, and then the condition for the counting is this one for now. And then after that, I press enter. It's just, so you can see that we have just one. Is it just one baby food that we actually have there? Okay, so let me just see. Okay, so I believe it should be correct. So you can see that we have it compare. We have 7 of them. Now let's go to that. We are answering diagnostic question now. And the question is that we want to know why cosmetic. So let's check cosmetic count here. You can see cosmetic has what? 13. And 13 happen to be the highest. But another unique observation that you have to capture in your report. Yes, cosmetic generated the highest profit, but there is another, but it had the same numbers of transactions with what? Clothes. So you see it now. Then followed by what? Supply. Now you cannot see the reason why the next one is what? The next one from what we discover here is what? I think is the household. Yes. But where is the household value here? Where is the household value here? We have 9. And what we have here, sorry, we have 9. And then which one is having office supply have more transaction, but household generated more profits. So that you now beginning to ask again, why it could not be the product that they purchase. So you look through and present this. So you can now, plot a graph again of this, select this, and then this time around, you try to use different graph. You have used the vertical one just to design your dashboard. So you can use this. You can have a mixture of this. Make sure that it's creative. And then I can also choose the same background. So I'll just go to format, and then from here, I choose something like this just to make it unique. All right. So at the end of the day, this space here, you fill them with color so that each of the reports will stand out. But let me not use off color. So I can just use this. Then this space here, you fill it up with another, and then so you say I'm trying to make my dashboard design. So this space here, you fill it with this. You just want to, and then you can also tape the top here if you want. You can tape it here. So this is just, you're only trying to form a design. So I need to reduce this one in, make sure that they are all on the same length. So tape the whole of this section also. So you can see that my dashboard is now looking more creative. Now, the last thing I want to show us before I end the section, and if there's any question, we use the remaining time, is I want to turn off all these lines so that my dashboard will look clean. My dashboard will look clean. So we're supposed to have extended it here to make everything balanced. Extend it here. So all these are techniques you need to know in order to make your dashboard presentable. So now we are supposed to answer card question and put them at the top here. That is single metric analysis. But for now, we will not be able to do that because we are running out of time. Now, one more thing is that I don't want to see all this grid line and all this A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to see them. So it will look very neat. So how do you turn them off? You go to view, click on this to turn off all the header, click on this to turn off all the grid lines. So you can see that the dashboard look neat. So when I'm presenting to my stakeholder, this is how I will be presenting. You know, to look as if it's not a set, probably you are now having an interface that look like Microsoft Word. So ladies and gentlemen, we thank God that we are able to fulfill our promise as a platform with integrity. We told you 2 days. We told you we are going to train you. Not, sometimes when people say free, when they say free, like some, platform, they will use the whole time for market. But this is actually what? Retraining. This is training that if we ask you to pay for it, for attending these 2 days, you must have spent some money. So the way you can encourage us is to continue to tell people around you that there is a platform called Digital Zeal that offer training. You can see that this is not far different from this physical training. All right, as from your comfort home, you are able to join this class and you are able to get this. And the funny part of it is that even if I'm teaching you physically, you won't get this quality of training that I just gave to us. So a lot of persons have not come to realize that the world has advanced. The era of you saying that if you don't see somebody physically, you cannot learn, that era is fading out because the cost of running those structures, paying rent and others, is choking the business owner. All right, and the online is cheaper and it's safer. So if you have any question, please, we have just 3 minutes to leave. If you have any question, please, the line is open. You want to know more about this platform. I talk about the discount for those that are willing to. Let me ask first. Let me ask, how many of us here are actually interested in enrolling into the main class? Because that is what will determine the discounts I want to give.
I'm interested.
Okay, so Mrs. Rachel, are you still here? Please, the person that
Yes,
says is
yeah.
interested, please, can you drop your number in the message or in the WhatsApp so that she can follow you up? All right. So have you taken, please, Ma, can you drop your number so that we can follow you up. Please, if you can just drop it maybe in the message section. Okay. Okay, King, you raise up your hand. You want to say something? Please, I want to know the number of persons that are interested because that is what will determine the discounts I want to give. Who else is in?
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, complete. I would like you to complete what you're saying.
Sorry, you would like me to do what, sir?
Oh, I thought you were saying something, so I just jumped. I'm so sorry. Maybe you want to complete something. You were
Okay.
saying something before.
Okay, yes. We are asking how many of us would like to enroll in the master class, the full package, where you will learn the full package on Excel and how to use Python, SQL, and Power BI for data analysis. Please, if you can unmute, I think I have Tonia here. Richelle, I hope you are taking note of the, please, those of you that are interested, please kindly use the Zoom message section to type your number, your name, right? I'm interested, so that you can quickly get the information, and then we just make the announcement and release us, please. So let's do
Yeah.
that.
So okay. I'm so sorry. So I'm interested as well.
Okay.
But this is my little concern.
Okay.
The concern is this. So what if after finishing this data analytics, is it possible for you to, I mean, to mentor someone to get a job? You know, getting this kind of a thing on its own might be a little bit hard. But is it possible for you to mentor someone to get a job?
Yes, we have. We are digital marketer, and what we do is that we teach you, we expose you while we are training you. We will be telling you platform where you can get remote jobs. That is what we can
Okay.
guarantee you, not physical job. Yes, sometime opportunity for physical job comes. A company sometime called me. Like last week now, I just sent someone within Asaba here to a place to to work. But those kind of opportunity only comes once in a while. But for remote, we will mentor you, we will expose you to platform, we will teach you how to create your portfolio where you'll be posting all your work, your class work that somebody can see and employ you. So that is how we can assist you, sir. And then if you are
Oh, okay, sir.
and then if you are also good and you can teach, Digital Z will absorb you. Outside this platform, we are coming up with a team that probably from next week we start running that will be organizing ICT training, maybe webinar or seminar that is physical or hybrid. The idea is that
Okay.
our students that are good, that can teach offline or online, we will give them opportunity to teach and make money. So that is our own way of creating job. So it's going to start very soon from now. Once we start fully, we are going to announce it in the group for some of us that we are training that are good, even while you are still on training. For example, if we are to go to Lagos or maybe where you are to teach, and we know that we are focusing on Excel, you have done with Excel and you are good at it because you must be good at it. That is just it. We don't believe in giving what is not standard. Even if you are our student, you are not good, we will not feature you. So that is our own way. So that these are ways we can assist you, sir.
Okay, sir. But the training will include SQL
Yes, we
or
include
Tableau
SQL.
and Power BI.
Tableau is what we cannot guarantee because we have replaced Tableau with Power BI. So, but once you are done with
Okay.
Power BI, you don't need anybody to train you on Tableau. You can use the skill tool
Okay.
to brush yourself up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's going to be
Okay. I think I'm
Python,
interested, sir.
Python, Advanced Excel,
Python.
SQL, and Power BI. Four of them.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm interested.
Okay, so please write your number. I don't know if we have all dropped our number. Nobody have message. Okay, I've seen Sandra. Oh, where is it? Hope you are taking notes. Only one person have dropped number. Please kindly do that so that we can just use the Zoom WhatsApp, sorry, the Zoom message section, just like what she did there, please, so that we can get the information and close the section. We want to add all of us that are interested to a group. A group. We have already created slots. So even if you don't have the entire money, if you are ready to make some commitment, we'll add you and start the training with them. So just put your detail. That's why we want to collect your detail. So either you are messaging on the WhatsApp or you do it here. Please, let's quickly do that. We have just one person here. Are we doing that, please?
I think I'll message on WhatsApp.
Okay, so just message on WhatsApp. The next person too, I think we have 3 people so far that have indicated. Just in case you come across the video and you are also interested, you can also recommend people to this platform. If you recommend somebody, trust us, we can give you 20% of what the person paid. So these are ways you can make money. If you can trust us and recommend anybody into any of the training, please, social media marketer, take note of all this that I'm saying. If any of our students recommend, for example, the student pay 100,000, we give you 20,000. So please, these are ways while you are learning, you can make money. There are many ways to make money in technology, just that some of us, we are not aware. So, so thank you very much, everyone. So like I said, if you want to chat me directly, just come across this video, just chat me on 234-7069-665919. So my name is Eguero Prosper, and then I am the CEO of Digital Z Hub and also the senior facilitator. So you can chat me up, and then we add you to our WhatsApp group community where we give daily updates regarding to upcoming training. So we also train on cybersecurity, data analytics, programming, graphic design, video editing, so many of them. All right, so good night, everyone. I want to sincerely thank us. So see you in the next edition. The next edition. King, you want to say something?
Can we get the video of
Whether you can
what
get,
today?
yeah,
Today.
the video. Are you in the
The
WhatsApp?
video on the WhatsApp.
Are you in the WhatsApp group?
Oh yeah, I'm on the WhatsApp group. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
in the WhatsApp group.
the video will be there. The video will be there. It will make available there.
Okay.
But not today. Probably before the end of tomorrow, you get, because I need to convert it.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Okay.
All right. Right. So thank you very much. Appreciate everyone.
Thank
Good
you so much.
night. Yeah. Have a blessed week ahead.
God bless you.
Amen. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.